This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Hello viewers, you're watching Pulse of Africa. I'm Samia Mohammed for the main news. First, our top stories for today. IGAD envoys called for an end to violence Upper Nile State. Namibia issues commemorative banknote in honor of late President Gengo. Tunisia aims to raise phosphate output to 40 million metric tons in 2030. Global sea ice hits record low as February becomes third warmest on record. Now, the news in detail. The ambassadors of IGAD countries in Juba have expressed deep concern over the ongoing armed violence in Upper Nile State. In their joint statement, the envoy said, "We, the IGAD ambassadors based in Juba, South Sudan, express our deep concern regarding the ongoing armed violence in the Upper Nile State." According to the statement, they are particularly alarmed by the recent reports of escalating tensions and armed clashes in Nasser City. The escalating tensions threaten to undermine the hard-won gains achieved in the implementation of the revitalized agreement on the resolution of the conflict in the Republic of South Sudan and exacerbate the already dire humanitarian situation in the region, it said. "We call upon all the parties and their affiliate groups to immediately cease hostilities and exercise maximum restraint. We emphasize the paramount importance of upholding the permanent ceasefire and adhering to the provisions of the ACRES," the ambassador stated. Moving on to Namibia. Namibian President Nangolo Mumba unveiled the Hage Geingob commemorative banknote on Wednesday at a lunch event in Windhoek, the country's capital. The note was launched in honor of late former president's exceptional contributions to the countries for 60 years. Mumba, in his keynote address, commended the late president, noting that he was nation's builder. The note cements his vision and contribution to Namibia, with the unique banknote serving as lasting tribute to his impact on the nations, he said. The 60 Namibian dollar note, which is a collector's item and one of print, will be used as a legal tender. Now to SADC. A ministerial partnership dialogue between the Southern African Development Community and the European Union will be held on 15 March 2025 in Harare, Republic of Zimbabwe. The dialogue serves as a platform to reinforce the relations between SADC and the EU and promote cooperation in peace and security, trade, and policies aimed at sustainable economic growth and economic reforms in the SADC region. The dialogue will deliberate on global, continental, and regional issues impacting on the peace and security situation of the region and beyond, as well as on development and cooperation. It will take stock of the progress in the implementation of the SADC-EU cooperation and the 2021 to 2027 multi-annual indicative program for sub-Saharan Africa. Shifting to South Africa. 3 decades after Formula One engines last roared on African tarmac, South Africa is mounting a bid to organize a new Grand Prix and bring the World Championship back to the continent. Competition to host the high-octane spectacle is between 2 tracks, a street circuit in Cape Town and the less picturesque but historic Kyalami race track of outside Johannesburg. A committee set up by Sports Minister Gayton McKenzie will choose the winning bid in the 3rd quarter of the year. Committee member Mimandelela Nadmasi told AFP. "The Grand Prix is definitely coming in 2027, no doubt about that," he said early February. "Whether it's a Cape Town or Joburg, we do not care as long as the Grand Prix is coming to South Africa." In other news, members of the Arab League on Tuesday welcomed a $53 billion proposal by Egypt to reconstruct Gaza over the next 5 years. The Egypt plan is now an Arab plan, the League's Secretary General Ahmed Abul Gheit said. The final communique of Tuesday's Emergency Arab League Summit emphasized the group's commitment to a 2-state solution for Israel and Palestine. The statement also emphasized the right of Palestinian people and ruled out any possibility of displacing the population as proposed by US President Donald Trump in his continuous Riviera of the Middle East plan. The plan will now be presented to Trump following U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's comment in February offering the Arab countries an opportunity to develop a plan that rivaled Trump's proposal. Moving on to our next story. Ice cover across the world's oceans plunged to an all-time low last month, as the third warmest February ever was recorded globally, the EU's climate change service has said. According to the latest Copernicus update, daily global sea ice extent, which measures the ice at both poles, reached its all-time minimum last month. February 2025 continues the streak of record or near-record temperatures observed throughout the last 2 years, says Samantha Burgess, the strategic lead for climate at the European Centre for Medium-Range Weather Forecasts. One of the consequences of a warmer world is melting sea ice, and the record or near-record low sea ice cover at both poles has pushed global sea ice cover to an all-time minimum, Samantha said. Arctic sea ice dropped to its lowest monthly extent ever recorded in February, the third month in a row that a new record was set to compare to the same month's previous year. Antarctic sea ice, meanwhile, reached its fourth lowest monthly total.
Only on the Pulse of Africa channel, all the time. Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Now, turning to business news. The Liberia Electricity Corporation has signed a power purchase agreement with CI Energies in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, to supply electricity to Liberia. The interim managing director, Mr. Thomas Zigonkorn, thanked the management of both CIE and CI Energies for their unflinching support to the energy sector of Liberia. He acknowledged the series of discussions held with the two institutions and highlighted that by agreeing to supply Liberia energy even before all the legal arrangements, CIE and CI Energies have shown a sign of brotherhood and African solidarity. LEC's PPA with CI Energies and CIE remains a commercial agreement for the purchase and supply of electricity, which has over the years provided capacity for LEC to meet its energy demand. Through the newly signed PPA, LEC is contracted to supply its 50 megawatts of electricity from its Ivorian counterpart. Finally, Tunisia aims to raise phosphate production about five-fold to 40 million metric tons in 2030, the government said on Wednesday, part of a plan which seeks to restore the vital sector to help revive Tunisia's flattering public finances. Tunisia currently produces less than 3 million tons of phosphate per year, down from about 8.2 million tons in 2010. The North Africa country is seeking to regain its position as a leading phosphate exporter to take advantage of sharp increases in fertilizer prices. The government said in a statement following a cabinet meeting that it had approved a program to develop phosphate production and transportation during the 2025 to 2030 periods. Phosphate is a national wealth that must regain its position, which has always contributed significantly to strengthen the financial resources, thus helping the economic recovery, the statement said. Before concluding, let us provide you with the latest updates on global commodity prices. That's all for today. Thank you for watching Pulse of Africa.
This is Pulse of Africa. The face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.